Good morning. Let's see. This hearing will come to order in the matter of the application of Potomac Edison Company application for adjustments to its retail rates for the distribution of electric energy, case number 9490. Let's begin by taking appearances from counsel for Potomac Edison.
Yes, Your Honor. Joseph Curran on behalf of Potomac Edison. I'm also joined by Teresa Harold, who's the State Regulatory Counsel for Potomac Edison. I'd like to also enter the appearance today of Jeffrey Trout, who is the Senior Regulatory Counsel for Potomac Edison as well.
Thank you, Mr. Curran.
Good morning, Chairman, Commissioners. William Fields for the Office of People's Counsel. I'd also like to enter the appearance of Paula Carmody, People's Counsel, Teresa Zarsky, Deputy People's Counsel, and also Joseph Cleaver and Patrick O'Laughlin of the Office of People's Counsel. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fields.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Lloyd Spivak for the Commission staff. I'd also like to enter the appearances of Michael Dean and Leslie Romine.
Thank you, Mr. Spivak. Any other appearances? Seeing that we have no motions to intervene in this case, Mr. Curran, do you have an exhibit that you would wish to enter?
Yes, Your Honor. On September 26, we had filed a letter with the Commission indicating that the company had complied with Order 88812, the Commission's order of August 29th, requiring proof of publication of the pre-hearing conference. I do have copies of that. We had filed it with the Commission, but if I could approach.
Thank you.
Court reporter. I'm sorry. Away from Your Honor, we would just ask that our letter of compliance with the Commission's order be marked as Potomac Edison Exhibit 1, and without objection would ask for its entry into the record.
Thank you. Seeing no objection, Potomac Exhibit number 1 is entered. It looks like notification was published in the Cumberland Times News and the Herald Mail in Hagerstown.
Yes, Your Honor, it was published in 6 publications in the service territory. I think it was 6 separate proofs of publication, as well as screenshots of the notice on the company's web page, as well as various forms of social media that it was published on as well.
Thank you. What type of social media? Your company media?
I believe it's on their Facebook page and Twitter account.
Okay. Thank you. Does any party have objection to this exhibit?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you. Let's go over the procedural schedule. Mr. Spivak, could you provide us with the proposed schedule?
Yes, Your Honor. The intervention deadline was the 26th. The update to actuals is the next procedural date at today's pre-hearing conference. That will happen on Monday, October 22nd. Filing of intervener direct and reply testimony is Tuesday, November 20th, 2018. There is one exception to that. Due to a conflict, the parties gave special consideration to OPC witness Lanzalotta. His direct will be filed on November 27th, and in return, PE's rebuttal testimony to Mr. Lanzalotta may be filed on December 27th. And I would add, actually, in the instance that staff has rebuttal for Mr. Lanzalotta, we would use that same date.
Okay.
Other than that, the rebuttal testimony would be due December 20th, 2019. Rebuttal testimony, January 16th, 2019. And excuse me, that should have been December 20th, 2018. Rebuttal testimony, January 16th, 2019. Evidentiary hearings beginning Monday, January 21st, 2019. And running through Wednesday, January 30th, 2019. The parties propose initial briefs to be filed February 13th, 2019, reply briefs February 27th, 2019, and the final commission order would be due March 22nd, 2019, which is the end of the statutory time frame.
Thank you. Do any of the parties have a concern with the proposed schedule?
No.
Mr. Chairman, I would note paper calendars, folks. The 21st is Martin Luther King Day on my calendar. And I believe that's a state holiday. January
That's
21st.
correct, Your Honor.
So we might want to,
I guess then it would begin Tuesday, the
Right.
22nd.
yeah, just for the record.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Herman. Do other commissioners have any concerns with the proposed schedule? That being said, the proposed schedule is adopted with the notation that will start on the day after Martin Luther King Jr.'s holiday for the evidentiary hearings. Do the parties, Mr. Fields?
Oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor. I just wanted to make, I've made the parties aware, I want to make the commission aware. We do have one witness who has a conflict the week of January 21st to the 25th. The parties have said that they would be willing to work with that order if necessary. If the hearing plays out the way they normally do and work towards the end, we would be that next week, and I think it would work out just fine. But I did want to make everyone aware that we do have one witness. It's not Mr. Lanzalotta, it's Mr. Efron, who has a conflict that first week of the hearing.
Okay. If the parties could work that out amongst themselves, that would be
Mr. Chairman, I appreciate Mr. Fields' optimism that things may move that rapidly that we could move him into the first week. So
Oh no, he's has a conflict the first week.
I got.
So
I was making light.
yeah, we don't have that many. We don't have other interveners. I don't know how long this one's going to take. We'll see.
Do the parties have discovery procedures set up?
Yes, generally standard commission discovery procedures, a few variations. Until the update to actuals, discovery turnaround time would be 10 business days. With the update to actuals and any accompanying testimony, that would shorten to 7 business days. Following the filing of the intervenor direct, it would be 5 business days. And I believe it's following the surrebuttal testimony, it would go down to 3 business days.
Thank you. Do any parties have concerns with that discovery schedule?
None, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. So
We've been served already with a number of discovery requests with staff and OPC, and we're answering them now.
Okay, so discovery has commenced amongst the parties at the table. If there are any discovery disputes, please attempt to work them out amongst yourselves before bringing them to the commission. We've had a number of them lately, and I believe that a number of them could have been worked out without the commission's intervention. At this point, we need to discuss public hearings. In the past, Mr. Cranwell, recognizing that it's been quite a while since Potomac Edison's last rate case for electric distribution rates, what do you propose in terms of public hearings?
We have not discussed amongst the parties the dates for that, but we would certainly, consistent with prior commission practice, hold those within the jurisdiction, within the service territory, perhaps a week or so prior to the commencement of our public hearings. And we'll work with the Executive Secretary's office on those dates and times.
Approximately how many hearings do you envision?
We hadn't discussed that. Perhaps one. If the commission wants a second one, we will be willing to have a second one out in the service territory.
Okay, please discuss that with the two parties at the table, and then work with the Executive Secretary to arrive at some dates.
We'll do that.
Are there any additional comments from the bench? Any additional matters that need to be brought before the commission today from the parties?
Just the one other notation is during the hearings, after we review or have an opportunity to review the surrebuttal testimony, we'd like to reserve the right to present any live rejoinder testimony that's focused on that surrebuttal testimony, consistent with the commission's practice in prior proceedings.
Any parties object?
No.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. That request is granted. That right is reserved. Any additional matters?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you. This hearing is adjourned.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.